What is up, Twitch? What is up, podcast? What is up, YouTube? We are live here on Twitch as we do every once in a while. We always have an amazing show for you today. First of all, before I start, I want to thank my Patreon subscribers at the $5 level. You are getting that backstage, like basically stuff that not everybody gets on patreon.com/raceflaves. The $15 level, you're sending me questions that you might want to ask my guests, and I'll put those on there for you. And the $35 level, you're actually backstage with us on the stream, just like our guest is today in the backstage. You're seeing all the backstage access stuff. And the $100 level, you might have a business and you want to have that business mentioned on the show. Heck yeah, we'll do that for you at the $100 level. That's $100 on the tier at patreon.com/raceflaves. So definitely want to thank Tilted Farmhouse, Jeremy Alvarez, the actor, and all my Patreon users as well. Cool. Thank you, everybody, for coming into the stream. I can kind of see you here. For some reason, my freaking browser is like super big on the pop out. Let me see. There we go. Cool. Perfect. Just checking everything here. Cool. Fantastic. All right. Live. Excellent. Good. All right. Let me just double check one more shot here. Make sure everything's streaming good. Yeah, we're good. Fantastic. Awesome. So once again, we have another amazing show for you as well. A killer guest. She's going to be awesome. Our guest today is past materials purchasing specialist for Nike Incorporated. Nike is, as you may or may not know, maybe you don't know this, Nike is the largest supplier of athletic shoes and apparel with a revenue in excess of $37.4 billion. Please help me welcome to the show, Miss Stacy Hoffman.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
What's up, Stacy? Thank you for coming on the show.
No problem. Thanks for the invite, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I see people coming in the stream. What's up, guys, in the stream, Twitch stream? Fantastic. If you're on YouTube, come on over to Twitch. That way I can see what you guys are up to. Come on over to Twitch if you're on YouTube as well. What's up, Mr. Corona? What's up, Chops? People coming in the stream, we can see you. Fantastic. If you have any comments on the way, do it. We've got Just Do It herself, Miss Stacy Hoffman, the past supplier of Nike. How have you been, Stacy? How you been?
I've been great. I came back from the OWC, which was an amazing experience. Just got to plug that for a second. And left sunny California and landed smack dab in raining Oregon. It's been raining ever since. So.
Oh my gosh, back to the rain.
Indeed. But life's
good. We
man.
had Katie last week on the show. Katie, your classmate. Yeah, she was on the show. She loved it. So both of you guys got back from OWC, a week-long mastering acrylic course by Young Nails Incorporated. If you are a licensed nail tech and you happen to be watching the show, don't forget to call me, 714-992-1400, www.youngnails.com, mastering acrylic. How's it been? How's it been since you took that class? Your sets are awesome, right?
It's been busy. Yeah. My sets are great. I'm just terrible at taking photos and posting them, but I'm trying to at least get that one post in per day that was recommended, and it is working. So I do appreciate that.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm getting to play around a lot more, which is something I was actually afraid of just to even do on my own, is like to play with the products, try new things, add some glitter, maybe add some pigment. So just doing that. So, now that we've hit November and I guess the official kickoff to holiday season, I'm going to really start promoting the acrylics and just having some fun out there. And of course, my Chef Tracy glitters that I've been lucky enough to get a hold of. So nice.
You joined you're on the Twitch stream all the time with Young Nails. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Good. Yeah. You, what was I going to say? Yeah. So I remember when you first started getting into the Instagram and social media, we got you started with that. So you're doing fine. You're right where you need to be. You're just,
I'm getting there.
And you got a lot of pictures up there. I see you got a lot of pictures up there, so it's happening.
I'm trying to get awesome. More, yeah. I even got my little YouTube channel. I have one tiny video on there, but that's
what?
Just one. But nice. Hey, it's a start.
Nice. You got the YouTube going. Let's show everybody your Absolutely. Instagram. I want to show some of your nails off.
Thank you.
I'm proud of these nails.
I am too, and I have great clients too, so I love them.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Look at this. Glitters. You can do the amanettos. You can do stilettos. You can do the
Hmm.
glitter stuff. You can do Mylars inside, embedding. This is you at the classroom.
Yep. Yep.
Doing it. That's where we get it done. That's where we train the beast, the rock stars. That's where we turn you into a rock star. Heck yeah. That's freaking awesome.
Cool.
Good. Awesome. So before that, Stacy, like I was telling everybody, like we were talking about, you were the purchasing specialist for Nike, correct?
Yes, I actually worked in the Advanced Product Creation Center, a place called the Builder Lab, where
What?
we actually made shoes. So I mean, let's just say I can make a shoe. Whether or not it'll turn out well, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I was responsible for doing a lot of the material ordering that would then go into sample products, or it would go into a proof of concept. Also, we did a lot of fundraiser shoes for, say, the Dornbecker Children Hospital. My team had,
What?
yeah, we made a shoe for Elton John and President Obama. So, we
What?
went all across the board. Plus, Olympians, if you saw some of the Olympics, you would see some of the shoes that came from our department.
Dude,
So, yeah, it was great. It was so much fun, and I had the best team.
that's crazy. So you were a lot of R&D, right? So you're like
Mhm.
in the forefront of everything.
Yeah, I had the wonderful opportunity to work really closely with some of the heads of the departments for, like, they call it the Innovation Kitchen, for example, and the Concept Creation Center. And, I got to partner with just different product lines like, running and tennis, et cetera. And yeah, so I got to see some pretty cool stuff before it came down the line. And I still can't tell you about all of them, but let me tell you, they were pretty cool.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So hopefully we can
Still
snag
have
some
that
more.
signed.
Oh, it's still good for a few more years.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. That NDA is out there. Crazy. And so you're able to do all this different stuff,
Hmm.
build shoes, concept shoes. And by the way, like I said, it's an apparel for sports as well. Would you get into a little bit of the clothing line as well, like the
Um,
shirts or anything like that? Or just
You
mostly
know, I
shoes?
wish I would have had an opportunity to do that, but I always joked around that I only dabbled with apparel when I needed to steal something from their department. So if we ran out of material, we'd call them up looking for a particular item, and they would help it. But like I, saw the mannequin for Serena Williams, and I got to stand right next to it. They were working on some of her outfits for her upcoming, tennis matches, and so that was kind of cool to see some of that. But
Oh
yeah,
dang.
they kept our
So
departments pretty separate in two different buildings even.
wow, that's crazy. So they'll have actual mannequins of the sports stars, and then
Hmm.
they'll base put clothes on them, make sure that
Yeah.
everything's like their style or whatnot.
Hmm.
Especially if they're partnering with them, right? You want to kind of make it look like
Exactly.
something that'll look good on them or something that they
Hmm.
enjoy, and they're
Hmm.
plus they're partnering with that design anyways as well. What's up, Ramonski? Ramonski's in the. Did you meet Ramon at the dinner?
I did.
Taking
Hi,
pictures.
Ramon. Good to see you again.
Fantastic. Ramon's in the chat. Fantastic. What's up, bro? And yeah, Mr. Corona wants you to make a shoe of race flames, like a race flame shoe.
Sure. Why
Is that
not? Why
possible? Like
not?
like we'll put a microphone on the tongue or something like that. Dang. Ramon saying hi in the chat. That's awesome. What's up, Ramon? It's crazy because when I think about Nike, I'm always thinking about like this giant corporate building in the middle of New York somewhere or something like that. But it's actually in Beaverton, Oregon.
Beaverton, Oregon. Yep.
Like I didn't even know that till I met you. Is it close to you? Is that how you hooked up with them?
Yes and no. I'll put it to you that way. My now ex, he had gotten a job there at Nike. Oh gosh, let's just say a while ago. And I got to meet some individuals that work there as well. And I have a recruiting background, and I got connected with some of the right people. And then that's how I got into Nike.
Oh, okay. So
But
your ex-husband worked there before.
yeah.
Cool,
And
cool, cool.
now I live about 30 minutes from the campus, which is not very far actually when you're talking about Oregon.
When you're in Oregon, yeah, there's
Hmm.
Portland, and then you're all over the
Yeah.
place.
There's Portland, and then there's the rest of it,
And
apparently.
then there's the mountain where you live at.
Exactly.
What's that mountain called? What's that area called?
Well, the one that I live on is called Chehalem Mountain, but the one that everybody knows is Mount Hood. That's where Timberline Lodge is at. It's the building featured in The Shining. So it's the outside pictures. So
Oh,
yeah,
no
that's what makes that
way.
famous. It's pretty cool, I'm not going to lie.
That's the building where The Shining was?
Well, that's the exterior of the
Oh,
building
okay.
where The Shining was filmed. So when you
No
see those
way.
outdoor shots, that's of Timberline Lodge. Yep.
So it definitely snows up there because the whole thing is
Oh,
happening in snow. Yeah.
yeah. We have a glacier, the Palmer Glacier, that you can actually ski in the summertime.
Oh, heck yeah, that's crazy. Palmer Glacier, check that out, Ramon. The Shining. Ramon and I are very big fans of The Shining, especially when Key and Peele did that little bit. Ramon knows what I'm talking about. Only Ramon knows what I'm talking about. Crazy, crazy. So what years were you there at the Nike place?
Sure. Yeah. I started at Nike in 2010 and then I finished up in 2019. So
Wow.
almost 10 years I was pushing it. And yeah, but then I just had a calling to do something else, which leads me to chatting with you today.
That's right. The show is called Nike to Nails. If you're just joining us, we are with Stacy Hoffman, and a soon-to-be legendary nail tech, and she
Of
is on
course.
her way, well on her way, and she started her journey at Nike. So, I
Hmm.
mean, you guys are probably tripping out right now. You're watching the show, you're joining us on the chat, you're joining us on the stream, and you're like, this is crazy. This Stacy, the nail tech, was at Nike, the actual freaking giant company in Oregon. It only makes sense to me because of the fact that you're there.
Hmm.
Besides being the genius that you are, but you're in the area. Like I was like, how did the girl from Oregon get to? I thought it was in New York or something like that,
Right.
or in LA maybe. It makes sense. It makes total sense.
Cool.
So 2010, 2019, the company used to be called Blue Ribbon Sports. That you had a
Yeah.
little. We talked about that a lot on the phone.
Yeah, when they first started out was Blue Ribbon Sports, and oh gosh, for some reason the name of the gentleman escapes me right now. He had a dream about the goddess of
Is it
victory.
Bill Bowman or Phil Knight?
No, it was another guy. I can't think of his name right now. I'm going to say it was Jeff something. Please,
Oh,
people
okay.
in the chat, please correct me. I just
Yeah, because Bill Bowman and Phil
spaced
Knight
out.
are the founders, right?
Bowerman. Yeah, Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight are
Nice.
the original founders of Nike. Yeah,
1964 was when they founded that.
and then it really started kicking off in 72, and you had Prefontaine, and then in 81 is when they started building the main campus that you can go get a tour of today at World Headquarters.
Holy
But
moly.
yeah, they changed it to Nike for the goddess of victory, and they were taking like a Greek mythology class or something of that nature, and they have this idea, and poof, that's where the wings came from.
That's where the wings, that's where the Nike, man. Can you imagine? That's crazy. Like, and it's the biggest, I mean, the biggest retailer of sports equipment, sports clothing, sports shoes. Look at
Hmm.
any sport that you see on television or broadcast, and they've got Nikes on. They're wearing
Yep.
Nikes, Nike soccer shoes, Nike football shoes,
Hmm.
Nike in basketball, of course. So it's
Pretty big.
huge. Like I said, it's the 37.4 billion in revenue. I mean, they're doing well. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
my
Uh,
stocks are still doing okay, so I'm pretty happy. So.
oh, sweet! You got stock in there when you were
Oh
there.
yeah, oh yeah.
Smart girl. I told you she was amazing. That's smart, dude. That'll be with you for, I mean, forever. That's awesome. Uh, the when you, so you're buying are you in so once you R&D the product out, once you come up, you finally got the concept of a complete shoe, you want to design the shoe. As a material specialist, do you also have to source all those materials for the actual manufacturing of all the shoes, or does that go to another thing now?
A little bit of both. So we are given the build of materials or the BOM from our business partners in, let's say, running, for example, the running category. And we have a list of materials that we procure and we show them how it works. And then they have other material teams within those departments that will then help with the cost efficacy of the entire project as well. I mean,
Oh, wow.
I literally helped to source gold plated D rings to put on a boxer's boot. And nobody's going to have those.
D-rings
Yeah, it's
on a
just
boxing boot.
where the strap went through for some Velcro to go across, and they were gold plated, and it was amazing. They were gorgeous, but we're not going to send those to market and mass produce them. I mean, when you're looking at, pennies for shoelaces, you save 2 pennies here and 2 pennies there, and you're cranking out 500,000 pair of shoes. All of that adds up. So the team that I worked with in materials, we would help to source other materials. Again, looking at functionality of the material, looking at the cost, what companies were producing it, where the factories were. And then we would turn that information over to the larger footwear materials team that have partnerships with those actual factories in country. And they have
Nice.
departments called Nike liaison offices. So the footwear development team, which I got to actually be a part of, the young athletes footwear development team, they would work with the NLOs to come up with the materials. And we
NLO, what's that?
Oh, the Nike liaison office.
Nike liaison
Sorry,
office. There you go.
yeah, I still have lots of Nike-isms that I might
some
spill.
Nike jargon for you guys. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then once in a while, our partners might come back to us and say, "Hey, can you, attach this outsole to, the upper for us, because we want to see just kind of how it will react." Then we'll give it to our product testers, and they'll go do a thing. But a lot of times we got to work with some athlete projects directly. I mean, anything from Denny Hamlin, the race car driver, to Federer.
I didn't even think about race car. They have the boot that goes. They have the white boot that goes like all through.
It's pretty slick.
The pony boot. Yeah, it's tight.
Exactly.
I would wear that to a party. I would totally wear that to a party. The race boot.
It was cool. They're very cool, and it was just fun partnering with everybody, because you got to work with so many different departments. You really got to know how the business was built, because you understand how the products are built.
Right.
And
from the beginning. I mean, you're at the husk. You're right at the beginning of product development. So, and are you thinking about things like this? Like what's interesting about a sports shoe? Okay, I'm sure in the beginning it was like, function was heavy, right? At some point in the company. But then I'm sure especially now, as lately, it's more about comfort, because you're selling to the consumers. So in the beginning, there's that kind of balance. Is there kind of that, is there or is there not like some sort of like balance you have to kind of play with, like comfort as well as functionality, as well as, is this thing going to fall apart when it gets on the track? Are you guys thinking about stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was all of the above. I mean, when Bill Bowerman first created the waffle sole that everyone is familiar with, his whole, concept and the thought, from the information that I have, is that his athletes were running in shoes that weighed X amount of weight. Well, you take the compounding number of how much does that shoe weigh by the end of their race, how often are they picking it up, how fast are they having to run. So if you can shave grams off of a shoe, you're saving the athlete pounds by the time they're done racing.
What?
So functionality was really, really huge in the beginning. And I mean, then you have things, where fashion definitely comes into play, and
fashion took over.
We say fashion over function, but not really.
Right.
I mean, the internal mechanics of a shoe have to be fitted to the individual. So not every single person can wear an Air Jordan, or they, need to wear a Pegasus, or they need to, wear something else, because every person's gait is also different. So that's why it's really important to get fitted for the shoes. And if you go into a lot of our Nike towns and other footwear retailers that actually really truly know about shoes and the human anatomy, they can actually help fit the right shoe to the person.
Right.
Yeah,
because some people lean, their feet lean in more, or they lean
supinate
out.
And pronate.
Pronate, those are the words I was looking for. Pronate,
yeah.
Supinate and pronate, exactly. Mr. Corona in the chat saying he loves the Jordans. He had the Air Jordans. I think he had the ones where you pump it up, where you had the pump.
Oh yeah,
remember those?
Oh yeah. Actually, in the
is that your design? Did you do that?
Oh gosh. I would own multiple nail salons by now if that was my design.
You would own 20 of them.
Right.
Stacy came up with the pump. No, just kidding.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. That's crazy. That's crazy. So now but you do own now. Let's get into nails. You own
Yeah.
your own salon,
My
Nettles Nail Bar.
yeah, my own little salon. It's kind of a little bit of a dream come true for me, which I didn't even realize I had that dream until I was working at Nike. So it's kind of a funny short and long story, but
Well, talk about it. How did you? So you're sitting at your computer, and you've got materials all over this. You got a piece of a shoe here, a piece of a shoe there, some materials hanging off the shelf, and
I
you're
swear
like,
you've seen my office. Yeah.
"Is that am I close? I just have this feeling."
it's
I don't know.
it's pretty close. Yeah. With the area I was in, you also have to throw in a lot of machinery sounds coming around
Machine.
too. So
You know, the stuff just banging around, bah, bah, bah,
yeah.
pumping shoes
Um,
out.
Yeah, the long and short, I was actually over in the young athletes department. I was on what's called a stretch assignment. So I had the opportunity to work in another department and, learn how to, run their world, so to speak. I wish it was running their world, but got to learn the build materials or the bombs, as I mentioned before.
Yeah.
So I learned the back end of what it takes to get a shoe to market. And while I was there, it was November of 2017. I needed to get some tests done and I had to be sleep deprived. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. You get on, YouTube, you start watching silly kitten videos. And then all of a sudden, you see these crazy nails being advertised, and I found this Canadian woman was doing these nails, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then this British gal, she was doing, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then lo and behold, I start just obsessively watching these nail videos, and it dawned on me, that I wanted to do this when I was in junior high school.
Oh, you liked nails back then.
I did, and I didn't even remember, honestly. Let's just say there was a little bit of time between junior high school and
Yeah.
2017.
But you're watching these videos, and this
Yeah,
memory it jogs your like.
it did.
I used to like that, right?
Yeah, it was probably 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, oh my God, no way. Back in junior high, where I was going to school at, we had an opportunity to go to the local Vo-Tech school to check out the trade school. You could either go into cosmetology or you could go into, I want to say, small engines, maybe mechanics of some sort. I don't really remember
So you could have been a mechanic right now.
Oh, I totally could. My father was a mechanic, so I can actually change oil. It's pretty cool.
There you go.
So yeah, when I was in there, I see all these folks around, and they have crazy hair, this wild makeup, these long red nails. I'm like, oh my God, these are my people. So I was really excited. At first, I just figured it was a free day out of school. So, hey, let's do this. But then when I saw all of this, I just absolutely fell in love with it. Told my parents how excited I was. And their response was, that's great. You're going to go to college like your brother. So college prep it is. So off to the regular high school. And lo and behold, go to Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Didn't even think about it then. But I mean, back in the day, being a nail tech isn't like being a nail tech today. I mean, it's, you could own a salon, sure, but what are you going to do with your life, as they like to say? And I'm like, well, let me tell you.
Yeah, there wasn't, there wasn't a thought of like you could be this entrepreneur like you are now, like you can control your own destiny. And really, it's the web that got us to that point, to be able to
absolutely.
Whatever business you have, whether you're making pencils or you're making, obviously Nike's using it now, and now you're using that as an entrepreneur. You have your own business. You're able to promote yourself. Back in those days, the parents were probably like, "What the?" Or what did you say? I'm sorry.
So you had magazines you could look at, and that was kind of it. I mean,
yeah, you had the magazine. You had to hope for somebody to flip through and possibly see you in the very, very back, and you might get seen by 3 people out of 300,000 that read the magazine, but also so it made a kind of image, or created a kind of image for parents, especially because I talk to parents all the time, dealing with schools, and they're like, well, wow, how come my kid went to school and they spent $5,000 at nail school, but then they still don't know anything, and they got to go to you? Like, I have to explain it to them, like, they don't teach you much at school. So for parents, it must have been scary, like, because the only the only like thing they could do at that time was like, well, if they do get their license and they're going to work in a salon
Hmm.
of not just 2 or 3 people, of like a row of nail techs, a
Right,
row
right.
of like pumping them out. You know, it was just about in the 80s, it was just about pumping them out, pumping out long, crazy
Hmm.
nails, tips on, in and out, in and out, in and out,
Pink
you
and
know,
white, off you
and
go.
there are some places like that today, but it
Yeah.
was heavy back in the 80s like that. And so
Hmm.
the only prospect for somebody back then who got their license was just, you know, you're going to be on the line of nail techs,
Hmm.
where now you can make a brand of yourself, nail bar.
Oh, it's a completely different world. And when I saw those videos, I was just dumbfounded. So I got married that December to my wonderful husband Nate,
Nice. What's up,
and
Nate?
he puts up with me with my crazy ideas, especially when I was like, I got this thing for nail design. He's like, okay, let's see it. He will let me attempt some things on his nails, but I have to make sure that I remove them before he has to go to work. So there is that.
Many husbands have come through the stores of Young Nails and told me the same story. They are the we are the guinea pigs for the wives.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You
so
know,
we got married in December, and in early February of 2018, I started school, and I was still working at Nike. And the department I was in, again,
you
young
were
athletes.
still in
I
Nike
was,
when you
I
went to
was,
school?
I was still at Nike. Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
the department that I was in, they were just awesome human beings. They heard that I
They
wanted
were
to
cool
do
about it?
this. Oh yeah, what was wonderful about Nike is that, I mean, the whole thing is you work hard, you play hard. So if you have your stuff done and you're meeting your deadlines and you're knocking it out of the park, yeah, go take a 2-hour lunch if you want, or leave a few hours early. Just make sure you're online later when we need you. And that's just what you did. And they were supportive of me going to nail school. I was able to do a competency based course here in Oregon. So I graduated in 6 months and 2 days.
What?
And yeah, I got my
That's quick.
license tested. Yeah. And then I instantly had clients because of a lot of my coworkers, and they were awesome. They were, just amazing people. And I was like, sweet, let's just keep doing this. And I was doing it part time. I said, I want to have my salon within 5 years of 2018.
Oh, you had the 5-year plan.
I did. I, had a
Nice.
goal. It's always good to set a goal, like even if it's a tiny one, like I'm going to get my oil changed by the end of the week. Just do it. Just set a goal so
Important.
you can accomplish something. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it just, it went. I went back to the Builder Lab in the APCC. There was a lot of changes that had gone on there in 2018, 2019, and it just got to the point for me where it's like, I think I'm ready to take a leap of faith. I've got, a savings that I have. I've learned everything that I could. There's not really a department that I want to try to get into at this point because I didn't have that passion anymore. I was in recruiting at Nike for a number of years. I love people. I love talking to people, watching them succeed, etc. And then I was like, well, when's it my turn? I'm like, you know what? It's now. Now's the opportunity.
Wow. That's
And
incredible.
you get
That's
to
awesome.
leave the corporate world, and then very shortly after, like, let's sell the house and move to the country. Okay, sure, why not? So in the process
Yeah,
of that, yeah,
you
in the
had that
process,
whole thing of let's get to that, but
oh yeah.
let's not skip that moment where you left a corporate job, like you left stability, you left insurance maybe
Hmm.
behind, and you went into your dream, and you had your plan and your focus, and you were decisive, and you took action, and you went. What was
Hmm.
that moment feeling like after you left corporate? What was that feeling like, just that leaving
This
corporate and going to be a nail tech?
Sure. No, it's good. This might sound horrible at first, but the first day I woke up after I did not have to go into the office anymore, I swear the birds sounded prettier. The sun was shining. The
Wow.
weather was perfect. I mean, just like everything seemed new again. I mean, I was excited for things, and I just don't know. It was like a kid in a candy store, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just
Nice.
I went from the daily grind and, doing the emails, doing the reports, meeting the deadlines, to going, I'm going to go play with glitter today. And I love my life.
Dude,
So,
That sounds like a fantasy. That sounds like every girl's fantasy. Like that's
It pretty much
the
is, yeah.
greatest. Birds chirping in the air. People say you're probably singing and skipping along in the forest there.
Oh,
And
it was
then
like Snow White and little birds flying and landing on my
yeah,
hand, you know.
that's what I envision. That's exactly what I'm picturing right now. It's freaking awesome. And
But I
then
didn't do it right away. I didn't leave right away, and that was the important part for me. I mean, I busted my hump for, over a good solid year in order to make it possible for me to step away from that corporate world.
mhm,
You have to again have that little bit of a plan so that you're just not like, yeah, let's just see what happens. Most people can't live like that. You have to have that backup. You have to have that tiny little nest egg, that little security blanket, which I had in a
smart.
savings account, because I was like, okay, if I am not able to start, getting clients, or if I'm not able to work in a salon, how am I going to pay my bills? Because that was important. You have this
Right.
pesky mortgage and auto payment, insurance, etc. So you do have to have a little bit of a plan, but you also have to take that leap of faith too. I mean, you have to believe in yourself. Your work's good, and it's only going to get better. And that's the important part. I mean, I am not an artist. My brother's the artist in the family, and he's incredibly talented. I can copy things pretty well, and that's where I started. I would find some pictures. I'd say, oh, this ombre thing, how do you do that? I watched a lot of videos. I came across these two really crazy brothers saying like bro,
Bro,
dude. I was like, I
bro,
have no idea who they are.
bro.
And I would watch their videos. I'm like, oh my God, if these two can do it, then anybody can. Then I come to figure out that it was Greg and Beebs. And I was like, oh, oops.
Yeah, he makes it look. Oh, so that's a. I didn't even think about that angle. So like, if somebody
Yeah,
just sees Greg and Habib, they may not know that they're actually in the nail business. They may go, "Oh, these guys are just
exactly.
doing nails on YouTube because everybody does stuff on YouTube. So these guys are just doing nails. If they can
Exactly.
do it."
Exactly.
I'm glad you saw that. That's freaking awesome. That's crazy. That's crazy. So you what was I gonna say? So I like the way you did it though, because I don't think number one, you have to have the fortitude and the confidence to jump out and take that leap, first of all. But you also were smart. You had a plan and to take that action, number one. And then number two, you had a nest egg, like you saved up for a year. And you said, hey, so it's kind of like having a bomb a parachute, like not like going like if this thing goes bust, we still got some money in the bank, we can be okay. Most
Yeah,
of
I
us
got
like
3 months.
myself, we'll just jump in. We're gonna do
Right.
a podcast, and
Let's just do
hope remote
it.
helps us. That's it. That's it.
Right, right. Exactly.
And and a lot of nail techs do that too.
Hmm.
They'll buy. Sadly, some of them will buy a $30,000 building, and are like not
Hmm.
there's no $30,000 building, but 30,000 renovation, I should say, on a
Right.
lease that costs 9,000 a month, and get a
Hmm.
little over their head. So you kind of have to plan these things. So I like the way you did it. I wish I heard that story more often than the other stories that I hear over the years. I hear a lot of stories over the
Hmm.
past 18 years of doing this. Um, you then so how much space is there in between where all of a sudden you jump into nails? Are you working at a salon at that time?
No, I was actually doing just a lot of mobile
No,
nails
nice.
at the time. In Oregon, I have my freelance license, and you're able to work outside of a salon to do nails. So a lot of my contacts that I had made at Nike, I was either going to their homes because I knew them, or honestly, we sometimes go into an office after hours. People go home and I do nails there or something. And, so that's how I was able to kind of
Oh,
build
sweet.
that little bit of a business. And then you
So you were
start
kind of still at
networking.
Nike because you were over there doing nails over there.
Yeah, yeah, in a way. I was still with
Awesome.
them. So it's like, you
You
can't
were their
quite get
in-house
rid of
nail
me.
tech.
Exactly. It's funny. I actually, the day after I got my license, I was working on a shoe for Tiger Woods, and the
What?
VP of Innovation Design, he's like, I heard you're a nail tech. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, we need to add this product, which happened to be a certain type of top coat, to a part of the shoe in order to seal it because of moisture getting in. And Tiger's very particular on how his shoes fit. And I
Oh,
actually
wow.
had my nail kit with me, and I was able to bust out some of my brushes and just do the thing. And he won the Masters that weekend. So I'd like to say I helped with that.
I think you did, take the credit, Stacy. I think you won the Masters for him. I don't think a lot of people on
I did.
ESPN know about this. This is an exclusive on Raised Flames. You guys just figured out how Tiger Woods won the Masters. Stacy put a little top coat on him. Boom, he's got balance. He's got swing. Poof,
Forget
he
about
wins.
that talent. I mean, he, you know.
The talent, but you would be surprised at what nail products can do, ladies and gentlemen. Nail products are like the duct tape of the beauty business. You're talking about protein bond. You're talking about nail glue. If you get a cut, you can put. I don't recommend it. Talk to your doctor, but you can put a brush on glue right there and seal the thing right up. But if it's bad, go to the doctor. But anyways, like nail products are amazing. I mean, you can use if you have a big giant bucket of top coat, you can shellac your floor with this stuff, and then you never know what you use it. It's pretty amazing. Youngnails.com can be anything else. Anyways, so that's crazy. So you're doing mobile salon, everything like that, and then what's the point? What was the point when your husband comes home and he's like, because you were living where? Where were you living before?
Well, I was living in an area of North Portland near the University of Portland. So lots of foot traffic and everything. And a girlfriend of mine had a hair salon in a little neighborhood, the Kenton district, super cute area. And I was going in there to start to do nails. And then, as I mentioned, we decided to sell the house and kind of move out to the country. We're both originally country folk from the East Coast. Like I grew up in Pennsylvania. No, I am not Amish before people ask.
I was going to say,
everybody asks.
So you're Amish, fantastic. You're in
yeah, and right when we decided to, really start looking, we got the house together in February of 2020. Our house was actually needed to sell by the end of February. The person that we bought the house from accepted our offer on Valentine's Day. So I always joke that my husband got me a house for Valentine's.
There you go. Best present ever.
Yeah. Right. So I had actually packed away a lot of my nail supplies and everything in that meantime, because people coming to see the house. And then there was this pesky little hiccup around the world that shut it down starting in March.
So this was in 2020 then?
Yeah. Yeah. So in 2020, we closed on the house in the North Portland area the week that Multnomah County shut down. We closed on our other house the week that Washington County shut down. So basically we moved into this giant house that ironically had a room downstairs. They had built an addition to the kitchen. So they bumped out the kitchen, but they built a room underneath it in order to support it. It's called like a daylight basement. So you can only get into that room from the outside because the house is built into a hill. So this room is completely secluded, already had running water in it. All I had to do was change out, some fixtures, flooring, add some paint and a walkway, and poof, there I had my nail salon within 5 years.
That's your salon?
That's my little home salon for now.
So it's under the house.
It is. Yep. And
I had dope. That's awesome.
So yeah, I went from a 30-minute commute to Nike to a 27-second commute, which is not bad.
There you go. Grab the slippers, jump on downstairs, take on your first client. And that's a trip. So they build like this room. I was going to say, why would they build the room to support the house? They didn't build the house very good, or is it because it's on a mountain? This is like something typical you do.
Yeah, well, the house itself is built into the side of a hill. So when you come in from the front, it's the first level, and then you can go downstairs, but you can only access the backyard from one side. Oh, wow. So when you're looking at the house, it kind of like comes in and then goes down. And so it's like, oh, okay. And they wanted to enlarge the kitchen so you can build out, no problem. But they had to have something built under it to support it. So they just built a secondary exterior wall. So
okay, yes. That makes sense. There was nothing there, so they got to have something. Yeah, awesome, exactly. Awesome, crazy. And this is in Chehalem. What is it called?
Chehalem Mountain.
Chehalem Mountain.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I'll say it, and then you tell me if I'm wrong. It says this is close to Hillsboro,
Uh-huh.
just outside of Portland, Oregon, and is that close? Am I right with my
Yeah.
geography? Yeah.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely right. I'm halfway between the small town of Newburgh and the town of Hillsboro. And Newburgh is famous for its wine, its wineries. So I'm literally smack dab in the middle of wine country out here, which can be very
Wow.
dangerous at times. So,
Nice.
because I like to, to promote the local winery. So I have their wine at my
You
salon
like to
too.
indulge. Fantastic.
A little bit, a little bit. But
Beautiful.
yeah, so I get a lot of folks from around here. They're also country folks, but they have made their careers. I mean, Phil Knight actually lives about 3 miles from me, ironically, on
What?
Chehala Mountain. So
You guys get mail together, something like that? You guys go get a newspaper together, thing like
we haven't really hung out much. It's just we've been busy. So
that? Yeah. You're busy, not him.
yeah, yeah,
He's
exactly. He's
you're busy.
enjoying life.
Yeah, he's chilling, but that's crazy. Oh man, how does it feel? I mean, it must be amazing. I was gonna ask how it feels to like have walk into your own salon and that whole thing. Of course, is awesome, but here's a double happiness. You're freaking walking into your salon in your house. Doesn't get
Hmm.
better than that.
I really love it. It's just again, it kind of was like when I was doing the mobile business. My clients could, do a quick load of laundry, give their kids some dinner, feed the dogs, whatever. And I kind of can do the same thing here. I mean, it's a fully licensed, insured salon and everything. So I know that I'm doing the right
Uh,
thing. And that also makes me feel really good that I've accomplished that goal. Like here I am. I'm in that 5 year mark. Granted, I was expecting a salon downtown somewhere, but
that
watch
was
what
when
you
you were in
ask for,
Portland.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in Portland, I was like, oh, okay. But watch what you ask for, you might actually get it. And then within probably the next 3 years, I'm hoping to open up another salon or maybe just booth rent where I'm in more of a downtown area. So I'll have both. I'm always going to have my home salon. And I've been talking to a couple other gals that maybe they would rent out some of the space sometimes if they need it, or just,
Nice.
totally just preliminary started it. But we also have a little hobby farm here too. So, it's like nails and nature, a lot of nature, but
There,
it's all good.
there's so what do you mean the hobby farm? So there's like animals on your farm? I
Yes,
mean,
we
there
have
are usually animals
chickens.
on farm. It's a dumb question,
Yes.
but I'm a city guy, so I'm not. So there's chickens.
Yes, we have chickens, and we have a lot of apple trees. We have a lot of blueberry bushes.
Wow.
We have a large garden.
Ooh,
So we're
blueberries.
trying to develop that as well, so we can be a part of like a CSA in the area. So uh, you know. We will eventually have enough to have our own little produce stands and sell the eggs, and all the other things. We're going to have more
Nice.
fruit trees. So yeah, so it's going to be just a nice drive out in the country, and you can do some pick your own
Freaking,
apples and blueberries and go
I'm
get your
already
nails
there right
done.
now. Just in my head, I'm just like enjoying the nice breeze, the Napa breeze. You're
Oh,
saying this is an area where, I mean, it is inland, but it's close to the coast. It's on the hills. People are
mm-hmm,
growing grapes there. They're making wines.
mm-hmm.
Just like how many wineries are out there right now so far?
Ooh, that is a great question. I know I'm within 3 miles of 12.
Dang, so there's more than
So,
12? I was gonna think
oh,
that there's only
there's
seven. There's more than 12?
dozens of them out here, and they are
Dozens.
phenomenal. Yeah,
Wow.
they have some amazing award-winning Pinot Noirs that you will find here.
Ooh,
So
I'll tell
highly
your wife
recommend
about
that.
that.
Hmm.
Pinot Noir off the coast of Oregon. So, and you're telling me it's becoming the new Napa. That's crazy. So people
It
go to
it really
Oregon.
kind of is. And also with, the weather changing the way it is a little bit, and we're getting a little hotter, drier summers, there might be some wineries that are starting to get into the Syrahs as well, which will be really nice.
Oh,
And so
wow.
you're going to have a nice different varietals up here. And of course, I mean, their Chardonnays are really outstanding as well. And I mean, I'll go sampling anytime anybody wants me to go. I
There
will
you
I will be there
go.
for them. I support them.
That sourdough bread and a little wine skis on the
Oh
side, and
yeah.
how they do it there in wine country. So if
Mm-hmm.
this place blows up, I mean, people are going to be coming to wine country like crazy, right
Absolutely.
there on the coast of Oregon. Your salon's going to blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Your fruit business. What did you say? CSA? What's that? Like
Um, like uh, like you. it's like your community standard. Oh gosh, I can't think of the name now, but it's local for local, if you want to think of it that way.
Oh,
So
okay.
you
So
can
like
buy.
local like here it'd be pop-ups, like the pop-ups.
Right, right. And like we know one group of people, they raise pigs, so they do a lot of pork products, and you can be a part of their group where, I mean, in some places they'll do memberships, like the CSAs have memberships, so that you can then purchase X amount of pork at a certain time. Another group, they have hazelnut farms, so you can then get your hazelnuts, and there might be somebody who has a dairy and things of that nature. So it's all very local, and a lot of the people I know do everything very, very organically, like they're certified organic. And yeah, just, I mean, it's just like when we were traveling in the UK, we just loved, like, oh, the eggs, the bread, this, like, we got it from Gary down the road, and yeah, Tom is the
Wow.
milk, right? And so that's kind of what we're trying to be a part of here, is like, a small community minded group of people that love to have, parties.
That's damn. I love that. That's fucking awesome. So I mean, it's dope because like everybody, it's like a small community. I can imagine everybody kind of knows each other. That guy has the milk.
Hmm.
That guy has the beef. That guy makes cheese in the backyard or something like that in his
Hmm.
cave. You guys have
Honey,
got
local honey.
honey,
Hmm.
blueberries, apple trees. This place sounds
Hmm.
like a dream. It's like freaking awesome. And then to top it off, she calls it a freaking party. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
get better than
Oh yeah. We have a
that.
giant maple tree on the side of our house. We call it the party tree. There's only 1 hour of sunlight that actually gets through the trees, so it's
Oh
constantly
wow.
shaded. It's wonderful. So
Nice.
yeah, and
Oh my
then
God.
my goal for the summertime, I've been chatting with a few of my friends at the wineries, where I'm going to be able to get one of the wine barrels and cut it in half, and then be able to line it so I can do outdoor pedicures. So you're sitting on this platform
Oh
in the middle of the trees.
what?
We have 5 acres, so
Dang.
my salon overlooks part of the heavily wooded area. So build a nice little outdoor patio area, do outdoor pedicures, and then my neighbor, she does mindfulness training and yoga. And so
Do some
kind of,
meditation out there,
yeah, just,
relax.
yeah, and just make it a day, It's like, and you can have little parties
Dang.
set up. So yeah.
Girls, are you hearing that? This is a dream place. Nettles Nail Bar in the middle of the Chiam something
Chehalem.
mountains, Chehalem Mountains,
Oregon wine country.
Oregon wine country. Look it up on google.com. Oregon wine country. You'll find the Nettles Nail Bar. Is that your website too, Nettles Nail Bar?
Nettlesnailbar.com. Yeah.
Fantastic. My friend, thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Oh, well, thanks for having me, Ray. And it's great to see you again, albeit not in person, but hey, we'll all catch up again, I'm sure.
This is how we do it in the future. We just Zoom each other.
Exactly.
Anything you want to promote? Put your website out there.
Yeah,
Put
Instagram is Nettles underscore nail underscore bar. It's a tongue twister there. Nettles Nail Bar is my website. Yeah, and just kind of keep your eyes and ears open for my YouTube channel. I'm hoping to have that by the end of 2023, let's just say. Got a few things I'm working on in the background. And yeah, I mean, just also, guys, if you're not already watching Young Nail videos and in touch with Ray, you got to do it, because these people, helped to convince me to leave corporate America and actually live a dream that I forgot I had. So
It's
thank
awesome.
you.
We love that. We love doing that. That's the whole reason. Like Greg, when we used to go to schools and do demos and stuff, like we would see the kids' eyes light up, and we knew that there was a need for education in this business that
Mhm.
just wasn't being, offered. And so we're glad to be able to do it. And look at what
That's
happens. People
wonderful.
are This story is amazing that Stacy has, and I'm blessed to have heard these kinds of stories over the past 18 years, and it's awesome the stuff that we do, and I hope we continue to do so, and people continue to watch Young Nails on Twitch. And my name on Young Nails side is Better Email Ray. If you see me in the Twitch, Better Email Ray, because if you need education, you better email ray@youngnails.com.
Mhm.
Follow me on Instagram, Ray Breckmontes, and then of course Ray's Flaves. You know what we do, all my favorite flavors in all things life. And we're going to do something crazy, Stacy, if you're game. We're going to actually jump into, and I know I didn't tell you about this. We're going to jump. We're going to do a raid, and we're going to jump into somebody else's channel.
Love it.
It's a barbecue channel called Barbecue Central Show. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to jump into the stream, and we're going to jump into barbecue channel right here. Let me find barbecue channel, Barbecue Central. There she is, Barbecue Central.
This is awesome.
We'll start a raid and get into their channel and say hi to these people. Actually, oh, they jumped out. Let me go into let's go into Road to Madeira. That's another food channel. We'll go into there. Boom, boom, boom. Ready to raid in 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy that show. Raid in Madeira. Raid in Madeira. There you go. Awesome. Good.